What if I told you that a newborn baby once spoke in front of a crowd, not just cried, not just made sounds, but spoke with clarity, authority, and purpose? And what if that baby was Jesus? There's a moment recorded in the Quran that has shocked many people across the world. A moment where Mary, alone, vulnerable, and accused, stands before her people, holding her child. They question her purity. They accuse her of something unthinkable, and instead of defending herself, she points to the baby. Now think about that. A child, only just born, becoming the voice of truth. Did this really happen? Why would this story appear in the Quran but not in the Bible? And more importantly, what does this reveal about who Jesus truly is? Because here's the truth. Even in places you wouldn't expect, Jesus is still being revealed. In this video, we're going to uncover what really happened in that moment, what the Quran says, and why, if you're a follower of Christ, this should strengthen your faith, not shake it. Mary walks back into her community, carrying a child no one can explain. Every step feels heavier than the last. The silence around her isn't peaceful, it's sharp. Watching, waiting, and then it breaks. Voices rise, accusations fly. "Oh Mary, what have you done? You come from a noble family. This is unthinkable." They don't see a miracle. They see shame. They don't seek truth. They rush to judgment. And Mary stands there, alone. No husband beside her. No defense prepared. No words spoken, because she already knows they won't believe her. Then, in a moment that defies all human instinct, she lifts her hand and points to the child in her arms. The crowd reacts instantly. Confusion turns into frustration. Frustration turns into mockery. How can we speak to a child in the cradle? And then, everything changes. The baby speaks. Time seems to stop. According to the Quran, in Surah Maryam, chapter 19, verses 29 to 33, the infant Jesus breaks the silence. Not with cries, but with authority. He declares himself a servant of God. He speaks of being chosen, blessed, given a mission. He speaks of prayer, righteousness, and peace. A newborn, delivering a message no ordinary child could ever speak. And just like that, the accusations against Mary collapse. Not because she defended herself, but because the child spoke for her. Let that sink in. From the very beginning, Jesus is not like anyone else. Even in the cradle, he is set apart. Now here's where things take an even deeper turn. Because if you open the Bible, you won't find a moment where the infant Jesus speaks from the cradle. At first, that might seem like something is missing. But the truth is, the Bible doesn't react to the situation. It prepares for it centuries in advance. Long before Mary ever held Jesus in her arms, the prophets had already spoken. They declared that a virgin would conceive, that a child would be born by the power of God, that this birth would not be ordinary, but divinely appointed. So when Mary is found to be with child, this isn't confusion in God's plan. It's the fulfillment of prophecy. And yes, God still intervenes directly. An angel appears. Mary is called chosen, favored, set apart. Joseph is warned in a dream, so he doesn't abandon her in doubt. But don't miss this. The defense of Mary didn't begin in that moment. It began generations before, through the voice of prophets speaking God's truth. So while the Quran shows a miracle after accusation, a baby speaking to defend his mother, the Bible shows something even greater. A plan so precise, so intentional, that before a single accusation could rise, God had already spoken. And this leads us to something deeper. Is Jesus just responding to a moment? Or is he the center of a story written long before he was born? Because the Bible isn't just defending Mary, it's revealing that Jesus was always the plan. So what does all of this really mean? Why would the Quran include a moment where Jesus speaks as an infant, defending Mary? Think about it. Even in that account, Jesus is not ordinary. No other prophet is described this way. No other child speaks from the cradle with authority, purpose, and clarity. It's as if, even there, Jesus cannot be reduced to just another messenger. He stands out, set apart from the very beginning. But here's where the line is drawn. In that moment, the Quran presents Jesus as a servant of God, one who speaks truth, who is blessed, who is chosen. And as Christians, we can agree on this. Jesus is blessed, chosen, and sent. But we also see something more. Because the Bible doesn't stop at describing what Jesus does. It reveals who he is, not just a voice defending his mother, but the Word who became flesh, not just someone sent with a message, but the one who is the message. And this changes everything, because Jesus didn't come only to clear Mary's name. He came to carry the weight of humanity's sin, to restore what was broken, to bring us back to God. So yes, that moment in the Quran is powerful, but it points to something even greater, a truth fully revealed in Christ. So here we are, a story that raises questions, a moment that captures attention, a child who speaks when no one expects it. But the real question isn't just, did this happen? The real question is this: who is Jesus to you? Because across different accounts, different books, and different beliefs, one thing remains undeniable. Jesus is never ordinary. He doesn't fit into simple explanations. He doesn't stay confined to human expectations. And if you look closely, every path seems to point back to him, not just as someone who speaks truth, but as the truth itself. So don't stop at curiosity. Seek him, understand him, know him, because your answer to who Jesus is changes everything. And if this message spoke to you, subscribe to Turning Times and like this video, because this is just the beginning.